قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم.
After the death of the Prophet ﷺ, the Muslim community continued to grow rapidly under the leadership of the companions of the Prophet, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. May Allah be pleased with them all. Medina was capital of the Muslim state in its early years, and the city over the years has undergone considerable growth, most notably the heart of the city, MasjidNabawi, the Mosque of the Prophet. MasjidNabawi today, after numerous expansions, lies in the area that used to be the entire city of Medina proper, highlighted in blue. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the major graveyard, therefore, Al-Baqi, was on the margin of the old city. The graveyard itself has been expanded over the years, but its original part, highlighted here, is what existed during the early Muslim community. The Prophet ﷺ would visit Al-Baqi and pray for the people buried here, and on several occasions indicated the great virtue of this graveyard. In Al-Baqi lies many of those closest to the Prophet ﷺ, with his daughter Fatima and grandson Hassan to the right, his other daughters in the middle, and his wives on the left. Only two of the Prophet ﷺ's wives are not buried here. Maymuna radiallahu anha is buried on the route towards Mecca, in a place called Saraf, buried at the same place where she had married the Prophet ﷺ. Khadija radiallahu anha, the first wife of the Prophet ﷺ, is buried in Mecca. The Prophet ﷺ spoke of the virtue of MasjidNabawi on many occasions. A prayer in MasjidNabawi is better than 1,000 prayers in any other mosque, except Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. Due to its immense importance, we will now look into more detail into Masjid al-Nabawi, for this was the center of the life of the Prophet ﷺ. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, Masjid Nabawi was in the area highlighted in green. It was expanded once during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. For the visitor of the masjid today, when they enter the masjid, they will see different markings on the pillars. The pillars on the western side, with green trim, mark the first expansion under the Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab. Further inside, the pillars with the gold vertical trim mark the original area of the masjid during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Next to the masjid, the Prophet ﷺ lived, and he is buried in the house of Aisha. Nearby also were the houses of Salama and Fatima. Uthman ibn Affan, married to the Prophet ﷺ's daughter, first Ruqayya and then Kulthum, lived across a small alley, and the Prophet ﷺ would cross the alley to visit them, so this area was also called the Gate of Uthman. It is also at this location that the angel Jibreel appeared to the Prophet ﷺ after the battle of the Confederates to instruct him to march on the tribe of Banu Qurayda. Hence, this gate is more famously known today as the Gate of Jibreel. On the western side of the original masjid, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh lived. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the companions were so connected to the masjid that they not only lived next to it, but had personal gates into it. When the Prophet ﷺ was in the last days of his life, he called on all these personal gates to be closed, except the gate of Abu Bakr, an indication of his high status over all the other companions. Next to the gate of Abu Bakr is another gate called the Gate of Rahmah, the Gate of Mercy. A man once entered through this gate as the Prophet ﷺ was giving the Friday sermon. The man complained of drought and asked the Prophet ﷺ to pray for rain. After the prayer of the Prophet ﷺ, clouds immediately appeared and it rained for nearly a week. That next Friday, the same man came during the Prophet's Friday sermon and asked for the rain to stop. The Prophet ﷺ prayed again, the clouds disappeared, and the rain stopped immediately.